Welcome back. It is Chaos Theory, episode 3, presented by the Water Hose Drinkers. As always, I'm Josh Bevel with my cousin, Alex Smith. Alec, you got anything to say to the people before we start?
It's going to be a little bit chaotic, this one. There's so many implications and avenues that you can go down with this stuff, and this one's no different.
So, basically for people who don't know, chaos theory is basically butterfly effects in sports. And I personally enjoy it, but if you don't enjoy it, I don't care. So basically for this episode, we're going to talk about Jim Harbaugh and basically how he got into a scuffle with Jim Kelly that ultimately led the Indianapolis Colts drafting Peyton Manning. So to start off, Harbaugh was, hardworking, tough, quarterback, somebody you can count on, but really wasn't, no Patrick Mahomes. He didn't really do anything flashy. Obviously it was a different time, different style of game, but he didn't really have any crazy talent. He was just a good quarterback. But like I said, with the Colts in 1997, he was a starting quarterback for the Colts. They had a young Marvin Harrison and a young Marshall Faulk. Can you believe that? Jim Harbaugh.
Dude, like you said, Harbaugh was nothing special, but he was capable, and the Colts had a lot of other young pieces around him. So I think that he had potential to have a future there. But Josh, it sounds like he's going to mess it up. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So he, basically, Harbaugh, pretty good quarterback. They got young Marvin Harrison, Marshall Faulk. They're expected to do pretty well, but didn't go that way. They started off 0-7. And naturally, team goes down like that. The blame's going to go straight to the quarterback. Media and the fans were just lighting them up, just Harbaugh's bad, whatever. And at 0-7, at that time in the season, the Colts were projected to get the first overall pick. And at that time, going into it's 1997 or looking into the 98 draft, basically the number one overall pick is going to be the great Ryan Leaf and some guy named Peyton Manning. I don't know if you know who that is, Alec.
I've heard of Leaf. I don't know about the other guy.
Yeah, who knows who Peyton Manning is? I mean, what, 5-time MVP, 2 Super Bowls for Ryan Leaf? But anyway, so Jim Kelly, 4-time Super Bowl loser, just retired, and he was now doing media. And he was pretty big on giving Harbaugh a lot of crap. And so, he's not impressed with Harbaugh. He's calling him garbage, trash. And, Harbaugh's got, pretty thick skull. He can take a lot of heat. But he thought that Jim Kelly overstepped and when he called him soft. And Harbaugh took it personal. So after losing 7 straight games, Harbaugh was battling an injury that kept him out for game 8 of that season. So Jim Kelly goes to Indianapolis and went to interview Harbaugh's backup and to see what was going on in Indy. Why are we 0-7? New quarterback. Let's see if we can turn this around. And Jim Kelly did not expect Harbaugh to show up. And Harbaugh started trying to fight him, throwing punches, and word gets out to the media, whatever. But Jim Kelly said Harbaugh didn't punch him, but Harbaugh breaks his hand. And since he broke his hand, he missed the next 3 games, which the Colts lost all 3 of them, which solidified their number 1 overall pick. So if they would have just won 1 of those 3 games that Harbaugh missed with the broken hand, they would have not gotten the number 1 pick, which ultimately led to Peyton Manning. So again, the basis of it, Jim Harbaugh breaks his hand trying to fight Jim Kelly, which ultimately leads for the Colts to get Peyton Manning.
So Jim Harbaugh's temper led to 2 Super Bowls in Indianapolis.
One. He won one
Peyton
with
got one with Denver. That's right.
yeah, one with Denver.
Tom Brady or Peyton Manning with Denver.
For
But
sure.
so just to keep on spiraling with that draft year, 1998, Ryan Leaf and Peyton Manning were far and away the top 2 picks in the eyes of all the scouts. The Colts were between both of them and ended up taking Peyton Manning because apparently Ryan Leaf expressed some disdain for playing in Indianapolis. So boom, decisions made. But like Josh said, they started the year 0-7 in 1997, but there were a lot of close losses. So this team was probably not the worst in the league, but just hadn't had the ball bouncing for them the entire year. Harbaugh misses the next 3 games with the supposed hand injury that we don't know where it came from, and they lose all 3 of those. If Harbaugh doesn't punch Jim Kelly and plays in one of those games, let's say the Chargers get the number 1 overall pick, they take Peyton Manning. Well, then the Chargers or then the Colts end up with Ryan Leaf possibly at the number 2 pick. Then I kind of wanted to go to the 2001 draft where the Chargers took Drew Brees, number 1 overall in the 2nd round, so technically 33 overall, because Ryan Leaf.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. It was terrible.
And the Chargers actually had the number 1 overall pick in that 2001 draft, but they traded it to the Falcons, who took
Michael Vick.
Then the Chargers traded back to 5, took LT, and then picked up Brees with their first selection in the 2nd round. None of that happens if they have Peyton Manning. That's for dang sure. Because, I mean, the Colts were picking 30th in 2001, who they took Reggie Wayne there. Side note, this 2001 draft class is crazy. Richard Seymour, Hall of Fame defensive tackle, went to the Pats, number 6 overall. There was another dog. Marcus Stroud went to the Jaguars at 13. Santana Moss to the Jets at 16. Obviously, Michael Vick, number 1 overall. LT, great 1st round and 2nd round. Dude, Drew Brees never ends up in San Diego. Then who does he get drafted by, and who does he get traded to, or does he stay there? There's so many places you can go with this.
Yeah, man. I mean, you can even say, with Drew Brees, we talked about, I don't know if it was the last Chaos Theory or the first one, but Nick Saban was in between when he was at Miami, in between Culpepper and Drew Brees. And, which Drew Brees ended up going to the Saints, reviving his career and, winning the Super Bowl and beating. Who did he beat in the Super Bowl?
Beat Peyton
Manning. So, dude, it's crazy. I mean, I truly love these butterfly effects. So I hope we keep doing this, Alec.
I hope we do too, dude. I mean, the way we keep on devolving the original story, this is now tying into our Nick Saban story. I mean, it's ripple effects that Jim Harbaugh punching Jim Kelly in the face created.
I know, man. Thanks to
punching him in the face. Sorry.
Yeah, allegedly. But, thanks to our guy Pepe, for giving us this idea, to do this little mini series.
That's what Pepe does, dude. My cat was up in a tree earlier today. I called Pepe, came and got him down. Like, that's just the type of dude
he's a man of the people. He really is. But Alec, you got anything else to say for us?
I mean, that one simple decision completely changes the dynamic of multiple NFL franchises and their trajectory for the next couple of decades. That's kind of that's the premise of the chaos theory, but it's crazy that it can happen with an action so small as getting hot-headed against a reporter that's talking bad about you.
For sure. And guys, we're definitely going to have a chaos theory next week too. So I'm excited to keep on doing this. I hope y'all like it, and be sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube and Spotify, and follow us on Twitter, and even, set your notifications, on the Twitter, Spotify, and YouTube, to where every time we post something, you get a notification straight to the phone for the algorithm. Help us out.
For the rhythm.
All right, Alec, I'll see you. See y'all.